We're going to take you to a live event right now. Well, it's not really an event right now, but right now Bernie Sanders is meeting with Hillary Clinton in Washington, D.C., and we don't know what this talk is about. Is he dropping out? Is he going to announce that he's suspending his campaign?
Absolutely.
We're going to see.
Bernie Sanders is not going to suspend his campaign, and Bernie Sanders is not going to ask to be Hillary's VP. That's my guess. If anything, Hillary should ask to be Bernie's VP so he can turn her down. It looks like all the journalists are lining up, like positioning themselves for when Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton come out. They should be exiting soon.
D.C., where Bernie Sanders is addressing the media about the Orlando shooting. Let's listen in.
And that is not what this country is supposed to be about. Our goal as a nation must be to bring people together, to prevent violence, to prevent hatred, and to create the nation that we know standing together we can create. Our goal must not be to allow politicians, Donald Trump or anyone else, to divide us up based on where our family came from, the color of our skin, or our religion. We also know that it is imperative that ISIS be destroyed. This is a barbaric organization which has caused massive suffering to hundreds of thousands of people in the Middle East, and let us not forget that most of the people who are suffering and dying as a result of ISIS are Muslims. And by the way, it is Muslim troops on the ground today who are taking the fight to ISIS as we speak and pushing them back and defeating them in Iraq and Syria. Muslim troops. We also know that we must do everything possible to improve local, state, federal, and international cooperation to prevent further lone wolf type actions like we recently saw in Orlando. This is not easy, but we must accelerate our efforts to prevent the kind of mass murders that we saw in San Bernardino and now in Orlando. Further, as I have believed for decades, we must rethink the idea that assault weapons like the one used last Saturday night, which was legally purchased by the murderer, an individual who was investigated by the FBI for possible terrorist connections, who walked into a gun store and legally purchased that weapon. The idea that these types of weapons designed to do one thing and one thing alone, kill people by the dozens, the idea that they should be sold and distributed in this country seems to me to be terribly wrong. Those types of weapons should be banned. Let me now say a word about my views about where we go with regard to the Democratic Party. And let me be as clear as I can be that I think the time is now, in fact, the time is long overdue, for a fundamental transformation of the Democratic Party. We need a party which is prepared to stand up for the disappearing middle class, for the 47 million who are living in poverty, so much harm to this country, who have so much power over the political and economic life of our country. We need to be spending time bringing working people and young people into the political process, not spending all kinds of time and energy raising money from wealthy individuals and large corporations. The American people are hurting, and they are hurting badly. They want real change, not the same old, same old. While the very wealthy become richer and corporate profits soar, real unemployment in this country, not official unemployment, real unemployment is close to 10%. Youth unemployment in inner cities and in rural communities is often 30, 40% or even higher. Most Americans are working longer hours for lower wages, and despite the successes of the Affordable Care Act, tens of millions of Americans still have no health insurance, or they are underinsured with high deductibles and co-payments, and millions more are unable to afford the outrageously high prices of the pharmaceutical industry, who charge us more for our medicine than the people of any other country. Life expectancy, think about it. Life expectancy, how long we live, for millions of Americans is today in decline, in decline. People are dying at younger ages than their mothers and their fathers did. We have more people in jail today, 2.2 million, than any other country on earth, and we all know that our immigration system is broken. Young people are sick and tired of going deeply into debt for what? Simply to get a college degree at a time when we need the best educated workforce in the world. Climate change is the major crisis facing our country and our entire planet, and yet we have not done anywhere near enough what we have to industry and transform our to save the planet. People that I talk to on the campaign trail want to make sure that the water they drink is. What do we have to do? How do we revitalize the Democratic Party? How do we make it easy for people to participate politically rather than have one of the lowest voter turnouts of any major country on earth? Number one, I do believe that we have to replace the Democratic National Committee leadership. We need a person at the leadership of the DNC who is vigorously supporting and outworking to bring people into the political process. Yeah, I know political parties need money, but it is more important that we have energy, that we have young people, that we have working class people who are going to participate in the political process and fight for their kids and for their parents. We need, at the Democratic National Convention, to approve a progressive platform, the most progressive platform ever passed by the Democratic Party, a platform which makes it crystal clear that the Democratic Party is, in fact, on the side of working people, is on the side of low-income people, is on the side of people who have no health insurance, and is prepared to stand up to the powerful corporate interest whose greed is doing so much harm to this country. We need real electoral reform within the Democratic Party. And that means, among many, many other things, open primaries. The idea that in the state of New York, the great state of New York, 3 million people could not participate in helping to select who the Democratic or Republican candidate for president would be because they had not registered, because they had registered as an independent, not as a Democrat or Republican, is incomprehensible. We need same-day registration. And that means that anybody in this country can walk in and get registered to vote on the day of a primary or a caucus. We need adequate staffing and training to run elections in a way that is appropriate for our democracy. We now take it for granted, but we should not. In this process, we have gone through a situation in Arizona where people waited online 5 hours in order to cast their votes. How many tens of thousands of people simply gave up the right to vote and walked away? We need to make sure that in California, among other states, that the votes get counted. We are taking for granted that in California, it will take weeks for votes to actually be counted, and I'm not sure that the votes have yet been counted in Puerto Rico. So we need major changes in the Democratic Party in converting it to a party of the people, welcoming working people, welcoming young people, and we need an electoral process which is worthy of the Democrats. We also need, obviously, to get rid of super delegates. The idea that we had, in this case, 400 super delegates pledged to a candidate some 8 months or more before the first ballot was cast is, to my mind, absurd. And we need to also make sure that super delegates do not live in a world of their own, but reflect the views of the people in their own state. So those are just a few of the changes that I think that has got to take place and that we will be fighting for in the weeks and months to come. Just a few questions. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Jennifer Griffin with Fox News. Why do you continue to refuse to endorse Hillary Clinton? Don't you think your refusal is helping Donald Trump?
Well, I think that it is transforming America. It is standing up for working people. It is fighting for a progressive agenda which serves the needs of working people and not powerful corporate interests. And we are going to take that fight into the convention in Philadelphia. But let me make it very clear, if I haven't 10,000 times previously, and that I think Donald Trump is totally unfit to be president of the United States. I think running a campaign based on bigotry, based on trying to separate us, based on attacking Latinos and Mexicans and Muslims and African Americans, it is hard for me literally to imagine that in the year 2016, a Republican Party would have a candidate like this. Jeff?
Sanders, 8 years ago, Clinton nominated Barack Obama and put his name into nomination, and she halted her own roll call vote so he would be nominated by acclamation. Can you see yourself doing the same thing?
We are going to fight as hard as we can to create a Democratic Party which represents the working families and the low-income people in this country. We are going to be we're starting to talk to them right now. We don't know exactly, but somewhere between 1,900 and 2,000 delegates to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And let me tell you what they want. They want to see the Democratic Party transformed. They want to see the Democratic Party stand up to the wealthy and powerful and start representing the millions of people who are hurting. That is what is on the minds of the people of this country. They want transformation. Yeah.
Senator, you have said a number of times that you believe it's on Hillary Clinton, if she is to be the nominee, to win over your supporters, not on you necessarily. Do you believe that she still has to win over your vote as well?
Well, I think that every candidate, this is what democracy is about. If I want you to vote for me, I'm going to have to make the case to you that I am the best candidate for you and your family. It's called democracy, nothing new. As you all know, I will be meeting, as I understand it, with Secretary Clinton this evening, and I look forward to that meeting very, very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We're going to switch gears here. As I promised, we did get back that Hillary Clinton stakeout right now.